The Daily Wire hired her and only fired her because not only was she anti-Semitic, which they knew when they hired her, but she was also anti-Israel. And that was a bridge too far. So make no mistake, whenever Ben Shapiro talks about Candace Owens,
I think I got to say it. I love Gen Z right now. They're just feisty. They're very feisty right now. And to see the way they are reacting to people trying to censor their speech, this is incredible. This is amazing. And you're going to have to park aside your feelings about China. Obviously, I agree with the fact that China is a threat, but I also kind of think America and our deep state and the CIA is the bigger threat. The homeland threat seems a little bit bigger, the domestic threat, than the foreign threat at this moment. Okay, so what am I speaking about? So there is, let me just show you this headline.
Dude, Candace Owens is such a farmer, dude. It's crazy. She's such a goddamn farmer, dude. Are we right wing now? Wait, what? No, she just knows. She just knows what's popular. This is her whole shtick. She'll sometimes take like not the old out of touch conservative position on issues that pertain to like pop culture to consistently elevate her status. And then obviously when push comes to shove, she'll do a documentary about how George Floyd deserved to be murdered and wasn't murdered at all, actually killed himself. I hate these people.
On NBC, Chinese TikTok alternative Red Note tops app charts ahead of potential TikTok ban. Okay, so just to be clear, the #1 most downloaded app right now in the App Store is Red Note. Red Note. It's in Mandarin. They can't even read it, and they're all downloading it. So I'm going to give you the backstory of the TikTok ban. Initially, when Trump got into office, he essentially was very tough on China. And in 2020, he said, we've got to do something about China. They're stealing all of our data. You know, he was doing the America first. We're also going to be tough on tariffs, et cetera, et cetera. And in August of 2020, he tried to ban TikTok via executive order. It didn't work. There was tons of resistance, people saying that it would be a violation of free speech. This can't happen, blah, 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 blah. Then, of course, October 7th happened, and TikTok was incredible.
Nobody knows who she is in chat? Wait, really? People in this community are not familiar with Candace Owens? Candace Owens? The Candace Owens? You must know. She's fallen off? No, she hasn't fallen off. She's fallen on, chat. Are you kidding me? Even after she left the Daily Wire, she's been popping off. You're wrong.
Incredibly pro-Palestine, okay, to the point that they began censoring the word Palestine, and the ADL, the Anti-Defamation League, which is really just the Anti-Free Speech League, and the Smear and the Slander League, decided that they needed to now step in. Forget you thinking your president has power. We, the ADL, our lobby, AIPAC, we're going to get this done now because we don't like that Gen Z is anti-Israel.
That's the anti-Semite of the year, Candace Owens, who unironically is anti-Semitic. Like, she actually is anti-Semitic.
And then the kids got smart and started using
she's anti-Israel too, but she's also anti-Semitic.
Because he couldn't say Palestine or get any views and things were getting banned, started using watermelon signs, okay? But then very quickly, Congress passed an act. Like I said, forget the president in 2020. They were like, oh, yes, no, TikTok must immediately be banned. Now we got to get rid of this or it must sell. And that date is now coming up. And so the TikTokers are going, we are not with this. You are not going to censor our speech. We are not okay with you selling it to somebody that's going to censor our speech. And so what they have started doing.
Is Candace pro-Palestine? Yes. I mean, she's more anti-Israel than she is, I would say, pro-Palestine. She's anti-Israel.
Is downloading Red Note. And basically, this is just China's TikTok. And it's really funny to just look through what they are saying here, because there is something, and speaking to this generational divide, the younger kids don't really care when you tell them that their data is being stolen, because basically they assume that their data is being stolen one way or the other. Is it from the CIA? It's from this person. They don't have trust in our government, because our government has done really crappy things as well. And they also can't afford groceries. So yeah, whether or not China is stealing their data isn't a priority in their lives. This is one person. It says, TikTok, me arriving to China.
Hello? Hello?
Hello guys, this is your Chinese spy speaking. I want to post this video before it's too late. I guess we are not going to see each other again in the future. That's why I have...
Good take for once. Nah, she Just as long as you don't listen to all the stuff that she says. I mean, it's the Dan Bilzerian phenomenon where it's like you hear Dan Bilzerian in 30-second increments and you're like, damn, this guy's based. And then you hear him on the 32nd second and you go, oh my God, he is in the most man to ever existed. It's the same with like Candace Owens. This is a person who is literally, this is a person who straight up said Hitler was just trying to make make Germany great. Candace Owens famously said Hitler is just trying to make Germany great. Okay. And that it was actually Hitler's globalist policies that was a problem when he started to, you know, invade other countries. That was the issue. Like, that's her criticism of Hitler.
Something to say. It is a great honor to spy on you for the last few years. I wish you all have a great life in the future. Now, what I will never forgive nor forget is also the fact that after she said Hitler just wanted to make Germany great, it was the globalism of Hitler that she has an issue with. The Daily Wire hired her and only fired her because not only was she anti-Semitic, which they knew when they hired her, but she was also anti-Israel. And that was a bridge too far. So make no mistake, whenever Ben Shapiro talks about Candace Owens, always remember that he knew that Candace Owens was a racist anti-Semite. He just didn't like that Candace Owens was a racist anti-Semite who happened to be anti-Israel. Is something personal. Laura from California, you shouldn't drink that much Coca-Cola. It's bad for your health. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.
It's just, people are just mocking this. Like, oh, I guess we're not going to inspire you here. I'm very sorry. Come on. Gen Z is funny, and it's true. They're going to be playing whack-a-mole for a very long time because this is America, okay?
You are wrong. She's nowhere near Dan Bilzerian. Are you insane? You are wrong. Watch her content before you make assumptions, lol. I've been familiar with Candace Owens' game since before you were in your father's ballsack, chatter. The fuck are you talking about? You are wrong. Trying to educate me on Candace Owens. Like, you know, this is my forte. This is the one thing that I am absolutely the most knowledgeable on. I've been in the trenches. Go do a little bit of research and come back to me. You're going to feel a little embarrassed, I think. I can't believe Candace got some glazers in the chat. It makes sense, though. She is just as wrong as you are. Wait, what? Who is wrong? Now we got an anti-Candace, anti-Hasan chat. Candace Owens, if just wanted to make Germany great and have things run well, okay, fine.
And said it would have been okay if Adolf wanted to keep his activities to Germany while speaking.
Candace Owens started off as a pro-Obama blogger and was deeply anti-Trump. Candace Owens in high school actually won a lawsuit against the Connecticut Board of Education because she was victim to black racist hate crimes that caused her to develop an eating disorder. Candace Owens then, under the Trump administration, realized there was a lot more money to be made grifting to Trump rather than against Donald Trump. And she very quickly pivoted and basically put a black face on white supremacy. For the most part, her job was to say some of the most unhinged black things you've ever heard while also being a black woman. Throughout that process, she also started grifting in like multiple different directions, sometimes portraying herself as a black separatist, you know, not dissimilar to Clarence Thomas. Okay. While in other instances, still maintaining a healthy dose of white supremacist sentiment. Okay. I mean, she was a Daily Wire employee. She spent most of her time at Daily Wire shitting on George Floyd, shitting on Black Lives Matter, shitting on all black issues. She also was one of the most formative, one of the most influential people that brainwashed Kanye West, by the way. Not to say that Kanye West is a child or anything, but it's obvious that he was incredibly mentally vulnerable. And Candace Owens played a formative role in Kanye West becoming an anti-Semitic psycho. Much like Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas, Candace Owens is a massive Thomas Sowell fan and, you know, spends most of her time still defending some of the craziest right-wing conspiracies. Why is she anti-Semitic? I don't know, man. Why is she anti-Semitic? Look at the freaking article headline. Like, look, it's in front of you, man. Words on screen.
What do they mean? Here is
Thank you,
Candace Owens being asked by Representative Ted Lieu, playing a recording of Candace Owens saying these words.
Mr. Chair. In congressional hearings, the minority party gets to select its own witnesses. And of all the people that Republicans could have selected, they picked Candace Owens. I don't know Miss Owens. I'm not going to characterize her. I'm going to let her own words do the talking. So I'm going to play for you the first 30 seconds of a statement she made about Adolf Hitler.
I agree. I actually don't have any problems at all with the word nationalism. I think that it gets, the definition gets poisoned by elitists that actually want globalism. Globalism is what I don't want. So when you think about, whenever we say nationalism, the first thing people think about, at least in America, is Hitler. You know, he was a National Socialist. But if Hitler just wanted things run well, okay, fine. The problem is that he had dreams outside of Germany. He wanted to globalize. He wanted everybody to be German, everybody to be speaking German.
All right, so my first question is to Ms. Hershinoff. Ms. Owens said, quote, if Hitler just wanted to make Germany great and have things run well, okay, fine.
Chowder about to be like, actually, was Hitler anti-Semitic? Like, what's next, Hasan? First you say Candace Owens is anti-Semitic. Now you're saying Hitler's anti-Semitic? Oh, okay. Like, what do you think making Germany great means in that situation? She was literally condemning Hitler in that quote. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, okay. How about if someone were to say, honestly, everything that Hitler did was fine, except for the fact that he was vegetarian. Would you consider that to be a sufficient condemnation of Adolf Hitler? Or do you think that that is actually a very silly way to approach the subject matter? Do you not think that right-wingers exist? All conservatives are just Russian trolls and all conservative personalities are just grifters? No, I do believe that right-wingers exist. Matt Walsh is a right-winger. Ben Shapiro is a real right-winger. Okay? Candace Owens, on the other hand, is someone who was trying to make money. I'm sure she's become more of a real right-winger in this process, in this time frame. Listen to what she said at the end. She said that if he wanted to force everyone to be German and speak German, etc. Dude, you're saying it's okay that Hitler was interested in mutilating and massacring German Jews. Just don't touch the Polish Jews. Do you understand? That argument is fucking idiotic. What a stupid argument, dude. Nah, it's all right if Hitler was just going to do mass deportation of German Jews. After all, they deserve it. But the Polish Jews didn't? Is that what the argument is? What's going on right now? What are you talking about? What do you think Hitler making Germany great again was? Nah, that's not what I or anyone else is saying. Lol, don't start. Okay, you're oblivious to this reality, but that is what you're defending. And also, I gave you the examples as to why I think Candace Owens is a grifter, because she was an aggressive anti-Trump, pro-Obama blogger, okay? And she made that pivot almost overnight. So explain to me why you think it's okay for Hitler to do Hitler Nazi policies as long as he kept it into Nazi Germany, as long as he just like maintained the Hitler policies inside of Nazi Germany. Candace, as a teenager, was involved with the NAACP. I know, I talked about it already. She successfully sued the Connecticut Board of Education for money because she was victim to a hate crime that caused her to develop an eating disorder. She literally said that DC Jews were a rot in the community. Yeah, I mean, she said many different things since then. She said many different things since then about Jews in particular, okay? Like, I'm willing to entertain the ignorance that people have because there's so much anti-Semitic propaganda out there, especially given like how much power Israel seemingly has over America when it's not the case. So like, if someone comes in here, I'm not going to immediately assume that they're like a malicious anti-Semite. I'm going to my starting point is always going to be that it's probably rooted within ignorance. Okay? Because my job is to try and, move people away from having these anti-Semitic positions. But when you come in here and you defend a person who very clearly, very deliberately, and very maliciously is trying to get people to become anti-Semitic by constantly saying it's actually Jews and Israel that controls the United States of America and not America that controls Israel, and that it doesn't matter and it has nothing to do with Judaism whatsoever and everything to do with America's material interest in the region, then yeah, I'm gonna have a more strong opinion on that. Okay? There's no reason to be charitable to Candace Owens. It's crazy how one person spamming out Elon's rocket exploding led to a 20-minute video on the Chinese space station, which then led to a chatter talking about Red Note, which then led to a Candace Owens TikTok about Red Note, which then led to Hitler. I mean, welcome to the HasanAbi broadcast. The most charitable interpretation of what Candace Owens is saying in this situation is that she's too stupid to understand what she's saying. Okay? But ultimately, that doesn't change the reality that what she was trying to do in that regard was to defend nationalism on principle. Nationalism on principle is indefensible, but it's especially indefensible when you're trying to defend Hitler's nationalism. Okay? Maybe she was too stupid to recognize what she was saying in that moment. Maybe she wasn't trying to say like, oh, Hitler's concentration camps or death camps for Jews inside of Germany is okay, but, you know, not in Poland. Maybe that's not what she was trying to say, if I'm going to be super charitable for no reason, because like she has since said many anti-Semitic things over and over again. Okay. But the reality of the matter is that's still a statement that she made in defense of nationalism in Germany, historic nationalism in Germany, Nazi nationalism, in an effort to justify nationalism in America. She's also the defending 2024 anti-Semite champion. Okay, stop. That doesn't really mean anything. Stop anti-Semitism is a ridiculous institution, and I will not give it credibility, even if they accidentally arrive at a anti-Semitic person for once.
We do not like speech censorship. Okay.
Why did Biden lie about the ceasefire, Avi? Gaza ceasefire deal reportedly formally signed. Gaza hostage deal and ceasefire officially signed in Doha, sources tell me.
You're not going to justify it or try to pretend it's anything else. We heard.
You're salty you lost, Lamau. Come on, guys. Considering that there's like actual people here that don't think Candace Owens is anti-Semitic or incredibly right-wing, it's kind of shocking to me that we're still making jokes about this. Like, please stop. Don't even fuck around, dude. There are obviously... Candace Owens has developed a massive audience both off of TikTok and off of her incredibly successful podcast. Okay? You understand that, right? Which means there are a shit ton of people who are completely oblivious to what Candace Owens' actual politics look like, possibly because her and Brett Cooper, and she's worse than Brett Cooper, if we're being real, routinely talk about culture issues like this, okay? Meghan Markle's show postponed. Shout out to Beyonce. Jimmy Carter's funeral. Mark Zuckerberg for free speech. Justin Bieber versus Hollywood. It's always stuff like this, right? What is this? Debating destiny on Epstein? Oh, God. Did she do a video on you? I'm sure she has in the past. I think it's proof she fell off if people don't know her shit. No, dude. She fell on. Wake up. She fell on. She didn't fall off. She has a significantly larger audience than someone like myself. What are you talking about, dude? She has like the number 3 most subscribed to podcast. What the fuck are you guys talking about, dude? Wake up. Some of y'all are in such a vicious hug box that you are just oblivious to the reality. She has 3.4 million subscribers on YouTube. And since she left the Daily Wire because she got fired for anti-Semitism and, more importantly than anti-Semitism, anti-Israeli sentiment, because her anti-Semitism wasn't an issue for the Daily Wire, let's be real. Since then, she literally has launched or I think she still had a podcast at that point, an incredibly successful podcast. She quite literally is almost single-handedly responsible for Kanye West's like breakdown. Just because you don't care less and you say I could care less for that lady doesn't change the reality that she's putting up insane numbers out here. Okay? That USS Liberty video popped off with 5.5 million views. Where is it? Where? Second row? USS Liberty survivor speaks out.
All right, you guys, I'll get right into this.
As a Navy vet, I've never heard of this story. 5.4 million views and no one in mainstream media or independent media is talking about this. I'm Indonesian watching this and reading. I'm 56, but my family members served in the Navy. Americans are drowning in medical debt. Candace, my dad is a retired Navy guy and Vietnam vet. Stalin was Jewish. Kabbalists are pedophiles. Candace Owens is anti-Semitic conspiracies. Tristan Tate, who features on... You know what's ironic? These same outlets will write articles about me being fucking anti-Semitic. That's what's so stupid about the way that pro-Israeli people operate, okay? They're so fucking stupid. Pro-Israeli accounts and pro-Israeli media is so goddamn dumb where they will just like literally weaponize. They will just straight up weaponize like any kind of anti-Israeli sentiment and conflate it with anti-Semitism
not recognizing that because everybody fucking hates Israel, that people are just gonna go, okay, I'm anti-Semitic then. They don't get it. It's so fucking stupid. Good job, guys. Of course, everybody fucking hates Israel. Everybody that doesn't have a weapons contract or isn't like someone who is tasked with defending the State Department's propaganda unconditionally is going to be like, yeah, this shit sucks, dude. No, I don't like the fucking baby murder machine. Good job conflating the baby murder with Judaism in an effort to seemingly defend it. American conservative commentator Candace Owens made a number of controversial and conspiratorial claims on Wednesday episode of her show, including Stalin was a Jew, Freud was a Kabbalistic pedophile, and the Germans were ethnically cleansed by the Jews after World War II. Acknowledging that idiots are hoodwinked into hating Jews via hating Israel is not a tacit agreement with said idiots. That's what people don't understand. Exactly. No, 100%. But it's also additionally frustrating that, you know, this is like such a classic and such a cynical fucking shield that people who are pro-Israel deploy so frequently that it ends up making people go, okay, well, I can see right from wrong. And if you keep telling me this is for Judaism and you keep calling out everybody who's against it anti-Semitic, then I guess I'm anti-Semitic. There's already a lot of like, there's already a lot of like underlying anti-Semitic tendency that people have. So all you're doing is like solidifying their position and saying like, no, they're actually righteous for being this way and feeling this way. The episode featured the American British influencer Tishran Tate to discuss several topics. Stalinists, according to Owens, were part of the Jewish cabal. Dude, she's literally, this is like a Nazi line, by the way. Okay. Stalinists are a part of the Jewish cabal alongside, you know, initially the Jewish cabal was the socialists, right? Judeo-Bolshevism. The term cabal is often used as an anti-Semitic dog whistle, according to the American Jewish Committee and numerous other Jewish organizations. Jews have long been accused of being part of a secret group that controls the economic and political order. All right, whatever. This part is from the AJC. For a very long time, the media tried to convince us that Stalin and Vladimir Lenin were anti-Semitic. And then I learned Stalin was married to a Jew. Wait, yeah, they weren't anti-Semitic. Well, especially Lenin. She also claimed Stalin was Jewish, citing a friend who understands Georgian. No, Stalin wasn't Jewish. What? Wait, this doesn't make sense. She's like, for a very long time, the media tried to convince us that Stalin and Vladimir Lenin were anti-Semitic, and I liked them for that reason. Is that what she's saying? It's like when the media kept telling me Stalin and Lenin were anti-Semitic, I developed a liking to them. She also was, Stalin was educated in an Orthodox Christian seminary, according to Simon Sebag Montefiore's biography on Stalin. Neither Stalin's two wives have any recorded Jewish ancestry. Stalin's daughter married a Jewish man. Svetlana, daughter of Stalin, said the fact that Kapler was a Jew was what bothered her father most of all. Svetlana went on to marry another Jewish man, and her father did not attend the wedding. Stalin's son Yakov also married a Jewish woman named Yulia. In his memoirs, Nikita Khrushchev said Stalin had a hostile attitude towards the Jewish nation. I hate this article. Germans. Owens, alongside Tate, also claims that the Germans were ethnically cleansed following World War II, and that so many of the people who executed those crimes against Germans were then protected by the state of Israel. She referenced the Polish NKVD concentration camp commander Solomon Morel, who Israel refused to extradite despite requests from Poland. Owens claimed all her German friends were privately thanking her. Not only were their ancestors slaughtered, murdered, or ethnically cleansed and pushed out. Yeah, you know who really suffered after World War II? The Nazis. Israel and Jews. Candace Owens also argued that Jews defending Israel when they're killing children is tantamount to black people defending George Floyd because they're black. Oh my God. This is the guy, for the record, this is the lady that some of you were like, I don't understand. What's wrong with her attitude? You're not required to defend stuff that Theodore Herzl and Netanyahu were up to simply because you're Jewish. Many Jewish people that I grew up with have fallen victim to the same trap of BLM in Black America, where they teach you traumas about your history in the classroom. And then you have this like fear like that slavery is going to come back, she said, seemingly suggesting that the fear of slavery or the fear of anti-Semitism is without basis. Tristan Tate interjected to say that every time he questioned Israel, people start to say, oh, the Holocaust is going to come back. No, I have no interest in the Holocaust coming back, he continued. However, I think the state of Israel are war criminals, and I've said this a million times. Tate, however, added that he personally doesn't dislike people from Israel, just their government. There's no evidence to suggest that Freud studied the Kabbalah. What? Do you think it's worse if she actually believes the vile pedals or just doing it for money? It doesn't matter. The output is still the same, so I don't care, and she's still bad. Bro's cooked, morphing into his chair. I know. Anyway, fucking if there is a decent article that is going to address Candace Owens' like anti-Semitic tendencies or anti-Semitic statements, it's probably not going to be the fucking J Post, okay? And that Jerusalem Post article kind of that proves that what I'm saying in a perfect way. Are we under a bad star or something? What is with all these Candace cultists? You don't understand. She popped off so big with like the anti-Israel stuff. So of course, a lot of people only know her as like the anti-Israel person that got fired from the Daily Wire. Okay, that's it. So they don't actually know, like they don't actually interviewing my husband.
What is the most difficult part about being married to Candace Owens?
How long have we got? Well, I like to joke with you, and you know that I tell you this joke. So really, this is just for the audience, but I like to joke that there are many different women I'm married to because I'm never quite sure who I'm going to get in one day. So it's like someday I'm going to get one personality, and the next day it's this personality, and then you've got your investigative journalist hat on, and then you've got your mother's hat on, and then you've got your Catholic hat on. So there's a few hats that you're wearing at any one point in time. So it's always fun. I wouldn't say that's
yeah, that guy's gay, bro.
That's difficult. It's really just a joy of who you are as a person.
You're being kind.
God.
It's also been a tremendous challenge. And I think personally to you, because you're so different from the environment that you're now stuck into, which is to say,
yeah, that's true.
You are an Englishman. You like to retreat, sort of read your texts, a quiet place with a cigar.
Yep, this is all correct.
This is all very
all
correct.
British
and then you
things.
marry this sort of loud American. You don't like taking pictures. You don't like being seen or photographed. And then you marry this loud American. And so you've really had to adjust, I think would be the correct word.
Yeah, it is the meeting of the two cultures is perfected in our marriage, I would say. Yeah, the bombastic Americanism versus the retired English persona has definitely been like fine-tuned.
What is the...
Someone in the chat says Stalin provided arms to the perpetrators who did the Nakba. I was about to say, Jerusalem Post being anti-Stalin is kind of fucked up because at least in its inception, Stalin was, as far as I understand, somewhat pro-Israel. Now, that opinion might have changed over time, but in the inception, so it's kind of weird, kind of fucked up. He didn't have internet. True. Yeah, lots of people were like, oh, the socialist kibbutz, that's